Alright guys, hey! I know, bet you thought I forgot about you. Well, I didn't. I'm back, and I've been gone, I know, because I had a heart attack. A mild heart attack, about a month ago, 3 weeks ago. I'm feeling much better, and I'm back in business. And this is something I get asked about a lot. I get asked to do a lot of things, but right now this is what I'm doing because this is an order that's going to be delivered this afternoon. This is a half sheet, 2 layer Italian cream cake. You know the Italian cream cake that I make. Okay, well, they wanted it in a half sheet, and it's going to be a decorated cake. And that's something I get asked about a lot. Do you do decorated cakes? Well, yes, I do. And so I thought, well, today we're going to do I'll show you how to do the basic of this, and then we're going to do a part two is going to be how to use fondant and piping icing. And this is how to do it at home with just what you have without having to go out and buy cake decorating stuff. All right. I do have it on a board, a cake board, and this is a half sheet, and it's a double layer. And the reason it looks the way it does now is because this is called the crumb coat. The first coat you put on it is called the crumb coat. And that seals in all the crumbs so that when we're fixing to put the final coat on, and you'll see that it'll be smooth and pretty without all the crumbs in it. Also, I have gone through and using a serrated knife, very sharp serrated knife, I've gone through and cut all the edges off all the way around and evened it up. So it's nice and pretty. We don't have that overcooked crunchy ends on it. Save those though, because they make good snacking for later. And then I've already put a big generous, look, about that much thick filling in the center, and then I've crumb coated it. Now, we're icing it today with buttercream. And I just made buttercream. Don't let that scare you. Don't buy buttercream already made. Make your own. It's very simple. It's butter and powdered sugar and whatever flavoring. This is a hazelnut and milk. I don't use milk, I use heavy cream. This is a hazelnut buttercream. I'm going to start on the top. And I do have a turntable, but I'm not using it because how many of y'all have turntables? That's what I thought. So, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to use my offset spatula. And think of it as your parade wave, as your Miss America wave, as the Queen's wave. You know that's the way you ice. You're going to use that same wave on your spatula. Just like that. And you don't lift up. Don't lift up, because if you lift up, you're going to lift up frosting, and you don't want to do that. And we're going to just keep doing that, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Back and forth, back and forth. And we want to get the top first, okay? Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And get the first layer on the top. Now, it's also important to chill your cake overnight. That means you put it in the refrigerator or the freezer, either one, and just wrap it up in saran wrap like it's, being shipped to Abu Dhabi or somewhere, and make sure you build up your corners too, because we need sharp, pretty corners. Normally, like I said, I would be using my turntable, but I know that not a lot of y'all have turntables, so we're not going to do that. Not going to do a turntable. Instead, what I've done is I've taken the quarter sheet pan and set it up on there so it's at a good height. And I'm just going to turn the whole thing. Okay. Now, we're not going to finish off the top yet. We will, but we're not going to smooth it yet. Let's get it all iced. Now, we're going to start on one side, and we're going to just pull to the corner. And then push and pull. You're just pushing and pulling. Pushing and pulling, just like that. Until it's fairly straight. Pushing and pulling. Push, pull. Pull, push. Just want to keep going back and forth, back and forth. forth, back and forth. And we're going to just keep doing this until you don't see any cake and until we're happy with it. This is, like I said, this is going to be a decorated cake. Push and pull. Push, pull. Gently. Gently. You're not spackling a house. And as you can see here, I've got a bad corner. So I'm going to use my hand to fix it. Now, some things to remember when you're icing a cake. You want the cake very cold, but you want the icing at room temperature. You don't want it cold because it's hard to use, particularly buttercream. Buttercream needs to be kind of warm. You can buy pre-made buttercream if you want to. That corner is going to need built up. That is a bad corner there. Shoot. Dagnammit. All right. Well, no problem. We'll work on that. My other three look okay. Lick my fingers. Okay, so 2 things you have to have. Wet rag, and a glass of water. For this. Not for you, for this. And until you're real comfortable with it, do little bitty sections. Okay, this is in my way and it's bothering me. I'm tired of this thing. Hang on. You are a nuisance. Get there. Now, you're going to say, well, Lynn, I'm never going to do a big half-sheet cake like that. Yeah, you will. You don't know. You don't know that. But guess what? This works on a 13, this same principle. 13 by 9, 8 by 8 square, round. We're going to be doing a round cake too. Not today, but I am. But you don't have to stay for that one. Because I'm sure you'll have your fill of cake after we do this. Okay, so we're going to turn it again. Don't worry about the board, because you're going to clean the board. Don't worry about the top, because we're going to smooth the top. Now I'm making sure I've got a thick enough layer where you don't see any cake, number one, and I'm going to start building corners. I'll show you how to do that again in a minute. We're going to use another tool in a minute. Now you say, I don't have one of those fancy offset spatulas. Okay, fine. Do you have a flat metal? Look, this right here would work. You could use this right here. Hamburger flipper. Yep, just plain old. You want something metal though. You don't want to use something plastic or silicone. And the reason is you just don't have the same kind of control. You need that control. The control is of the utmost importance. Control is the key area. Come on. Don't mess with me. I'm on camera. How embarrassing. You do realize that you're being filmed, cake, right? Doesn't hurt to talk to your cake. It's just like talking to your plants. It won't hurt nothing. Actually listens better than your kids. Yes, I did have a heart attack. No, they don't know why. What caused it? They're saying it's stress-induced. Okay, so now I think I'm covered all the way around. Don't worry about the bottom because we're going to be piping the bottom later. This looks pretty good except for this one corner. Okay. So you notice how this corner is not sharp. It's built in like that. Okay, so now we're going to take some, I'm going to use my fingers. And this is going to be tricky. And it's not easy to do. But I'm going to try to fake a corner. I might be able to, I might not. Sometimes I can do this and sometimes I can't. Like I said, I can do this. I didn't say I was good at it. Anybody can do it. That's why I don't like it when I hear y'all say, I don't know how to do that. I can't do that. Yes, you can. You may not do it like Julia Child, but you can do it. Anybody can do it. Okay, so now, what we're going to do now is we're going to take, a lot of this stuff, oh, there it is. Okay, these are the tools we're going to be using now. This is a bench scraper. All right, you should have one of these anyway. It's good for everything. And then this is a smoother. Now, this little thingy right here, 15 cents at Harbor Freight. 15 cents. Go to the automotive site. Go. They're like a quarter. I think they're like a quarter at Home Depot. And it's going to be where the drywall is All the tools for doing drywall and spackle are the best cake tools. That's a comb. There's a spackle. There's another one here somewhere. They're different sizes. But I do have different sizes of them. But anyway, yeah, that's what these are for. This is what we're going to use now. All right? Actually, no, we're going to do this one first. Okay, so again, we're going to start on the top. And we're going to pull even pressure. Even pressure. And just put the icing back in the bowl. Because we'll use it again. You're not scraping the icing off, so even pressures, but don't dig. You shouldn't have much icing on there. Like I took too much off the first time, so that's no problem. I'll do it again. Don't do it too much. Okay, now the sides, same way. Gently, very, very gently. I took way too much icing out, so I'm going to have to redo that side. There's a straight edge and a beveled edge. Make sure the beveled edge is by the cake. And you're just going to barely, barely touch it. There you go. Yeah, like that. That's much better. Fix the corners. Is it starting to look good to you? It's starting to look good to me. Always fix them later. This is going to have fondant on the top of it, so if it's not exactly perfect, you can always fix it with piping or with fondant. Just get that edge right there around it. I don't like that way that edge came out. There we go. That's what I wanted to see. Yep. Back on top. That's better. That corner again. I'm trying to not mess with it too much with the scraper, because with the paddle, because I don't want to ruin that stucco job I put in there. Switch scrapers. Now we're going to go to the bench knife. Well, hang on just a second. Push this in. Where did I see a bare spot? It's kind of a bare spot there. Okay, bare spot it a little bit. Oh, that's a crumb. Dang, how did that get in there? I don't like that either. I don't like that there either, so we're going to fix that too. Okay. No crumb, no crumb, no crumb, no crumb. No crumb coated. 2 down. 2 days. Okay, there we go. If you see cake coming through the edges, now's the time you want to go back and respackle. Go back and respackle. Alright. Now I'm going to take my bench cutter and just barely touch the top. See how very little's coming off? That's what you want. You want just barely, barely, barely touch it. And that's what gives you that silky, silky smooth coat. There it is. There's our silky, silky smoothness. Ah, and then you just stick your finger in it, so you have to do it again. That's no problem. Always go in one direction. Don't go in 2 directions. You always want to go one way. One way. If you see crumbs in it, Now it's time to pick them out. And then go back over it easily. Easy back over it. Okay. And then gently along the side, just at the top, where you push that over, gently, 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 barely touching it. Barely touching it. Yeah. Barely touching it. There we go. Barely touching it. I'm taking off way too much icing now. Okay, so now, looks pretty good, don't you think? I think so too. But so now, before we can do anything else to it, what we're going to have to do is we're going to put it in the refrigerator. We're going to put it in the refrigerator. Let it get hard again. Let it get hard again. And you better make sure you get everything done you want done to it now, because once it gets hard, you're done. You can't do anything. Let it get hard again. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do the final decoration and clean it up and get it ready to go. So just hang on, I'll be right back. Okay, so we're back. I know you can't see me. Hi, here I am. But you don't need to see me, you can hear me. What we're going to do now is the cake is chilling. So what I'm going to do now is practice piping before I pipe. So I know exactly which tips I want to use. And this is a piece of paper that I just drew some lines on, taped it down. This is parchment paper. If you don't have parchment paper, you can use wax paper. You can use a piece of cardboard. You can do it right on the paper if you wanted to. I do it this way so that if I mess up, I can do it again. All right. And then we have, well, it keeps moving around. My tape isn't sticking to the table. Okay. Because I have icing on my fingers, that's why. Okay. Damn it. Okay, well, there we go. All right, so what I've done is, this is just a vanilla. This is not a buttercream. This is just your standard icing. And the customer wants a white cake with dark blue writing on it. So I'm just making blue. Just adding food color until I get the right color blue that she wants. If you do not mix it all together and it's got kind of a swirl to it, light and dark blue, I think that's really cool. It's kind of a marble look and it's really, really cool. Now, before you ever start doing a cake, or this stage, when you get to this stage, make sure you have pulled out everything you plan on using. Put my glasses on so I can see this. Okay. A little bit more blue. She wants a dark blue. So I'm trying to get it a dark blue. This is blue food coloring. Yeah, I got it all over me, but that's okay. It'll wash off. And like I said, if you don't mix all the dark blue in, you get a marble effect, which is pretty cool if you're using that for piping. Okay. Alright. Okay, so that's good. That looks good. Okay. So what you want to do is you want to make sure you have all your bags and bits. Now, if you don't have a pastry bag, you can use a Ziploc bag and you cut the corner out of it and put the tip in it. You can buy tips at H-E-B or at the grocery store. You can buy tips at Walmart. They're not that expensive. If you're, my number one tip, here, I'll use the bowl to hold it steady. There we go. All right. Number one tip I would tell you is go to garage sales and flea markets. And that's where you're going to find a lot of them. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to practice. I always practice. I don't care how many times I've been doing this for 20 years. This is a large star. There's different size star tips. Do you see what I'm saying? And it doesn't matter if you, I have metal tips too. We're going to be using the little metal tips also. See, like this. But there's all different types and they all do different things. The easiest thing in the world to work with is a star tip. And basically what I'm doing is I'm looking to see which star tip I want to use. That's and to practice, because I have not done a decorated cake in probably 15 years, to be honest with you. Full disclosure. It's not like I do this all the time. And you want to curl down your bag, and if you've never used a bag, you can buy these at the store too. They're pretty cheap. You can buy disposable ones, which are even better, and then you can just throw them away. You can get those at Walmart or the grocery store, it doesn't matter. Usually on the baking aisle where the cake mixes and stuff are, you'll see them on one of those little hanging things on a card. And it's a bag, and it comes with like 4 tips. And that's what I would suggest you start with. There's all kinds of bags you can use. You can even make a bag out of parchment paper, and I'll show you how to do that. That's real easy too. That's good for writing. If you're just